The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com and at amazon.com.
Manuel, you're having a problem with music in romance.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, I'm in the process of a breakup. I broke up about 3 weeks ago,
Okay.
and it's going pretty good. But I still could use music sometimes to just kind of, just music I love that just brings me good memories, or just I love music, so it just makes me feel good. Now the only thing is that when I listen to those songs, it triggers old memories, and I don't want to add this memory to those songs.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, the memory's already there if it's triggering them. Or is that not the case?
No.
Give me
I don't want to listen. I don't want to listen to the song and have the memory of that breakup added to that song. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
no, because
down the line,
right.
I want to listen to a song I love and remember my heartbreak.
Okay, so did she break up with you, or you broke up with her?
It was mutual.
It was mutual. Okay, so
Yeah.
the music, if you're both saying that you need to part ways and you're listening to music that you both shared together, you both loved together, is that the situation?
More music that I love.
Oh, music that you love, but you listened to it when you were with her? Is that why it's connected to memories?
No, what I'm saying is I don't want to connect it to this particular point in time.
Okay, so I'm hearing a different thing now. Manuel, if you're saying that there's music I love that's disconnected from her now, this woman, and if I listen to that music while I'm going through my grieving process, just breaking mental ties to her, emotional ties, then that music will always be tied to this period of time, and when I hear this music in the future, it'll bring me right back to this period of time, and I'll connect it with the breakup.
Yeah.
So go ahead. What have you thought about doing? Go ahead.
I don't mind attaching it to. I mean, there's already songs that will trigger this. That will trigger it. I just don't want to add it. I don't want to add it to those songs that I love.
Okay.
Or just also, just new music in general. I kind of have completely closed myself off to music, which I hate because I'm a music lover.
Okay, so you're combining two different things, and I think there are different ways to, in cognitive therapy, we call it reframe the situation, put a different picture frame around it, so that you could have your cake and eat it too, so to speak. You could have your music and go through the grief. So the grief process is there. If it's just raw, R-A-W, the breakup, and you do need to give yourself time to grieve the loss of what you both once loved in each other and may always love in each other. And you need to be able to let your mind sort things through. That's why grieving when someone dies typically takes a year.
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. Ugh, I wish guys knew more about what we want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance. A serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
And you need to be able to let your mind sort things through. That's why grieving when someone dies typically takes a year at a minimum, because you have to go through the whole year of, all the holidays, and your mind needs to be able to say, oh, I want to call my girlfriend because she loves this picture, this movie. She would love this, book that I'm reading. And they go, oh yeah, we're broken up. Your mind, it takes time to break those connections so that you get deep down that you're no longer a twosome.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to use, you can either just listen to very different music. Let's say, what's the type of music that you don't listen to, but you might be willing to listen to a little bit, but it's not so much your cup of tea?
You know, country music.
Okay, so, well, man, that's the perfect music. That's going to put you in a perpetual depression, honey. You know, my girlfriend left me at the bar, and I'm sitting here. So if there's
That's all it is.
Right. So I would try to think of some other music that might be a little more uplifting. Or, so one of the things you can do is just change the genre that you listen to, but don't make it depressing. I'm not saying, you know, go for something that's going to bring you down. If you like, what's the type that you love? What's your favorite type of music?
I love R&B music and it's really abstract. Like it's kind of I'm all over the place actually.
Okay, but let me just stick with rhythm and blues for a minute. If you want, you could make music your comforter, your best friend, which is what you say it is, and let it bring you through this period and many other periods, and let it bring you through the happy times and the sad times. And instead of looking at it as just tied to this situation, look at it as something that carries you through. I happen to like Danny Wright, who's a pianist, and I love it as background music. And man, if I'm going in for a tooth surgery or something, I bring that music. Now, will it be tied to my tooth surgery? Only if I only bring it to tooth surgeries. But if I can tie it to many other events, traveling events, when I'm traveling, I can put it on so I don't have to hear the car, the noise of the cars. It's very nice. So if you make it more universal in your life and just look at it as a soothing source of joy for yourself at a time when you need the joy, and it doesn't have to be connected with the girlfriend. Think about other things too during it. And just never give up music to an ex. Go ahead.
I don't want to do that. I love it, and I've been, just going through some of these things in silence, which, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. But
but I would not make it a big deal. It sounds like if you frame it that way, that it has to be tied to the sadness, then it'll always be tied to the sadness. I have music that carries me through sad times and happy times. I mentioned Danny Wright. There are many other songs, too, that I love, like yourself. And that is the function of music, And you can sample some new music, too, but I would not tie it. Know that you're doing two things. You're grieving, and you also want a support system, and your music can be your support system, and you don't have to dump the music at the end. So thank you so much for your call, and I wish you good listening.
And here's a little more from Dr. Kenner.
Dad and I had another fight. So I'm afraid if we stay under the same roof together, we'll do irreparable harm to the relationship we have as it is.
You might remember why you moved him in the first place. You wanted to get closer to Dad.
I still do. There isn't anything I'd like more, but he makes it impossible. I can't read my book, I can't have my coffee, I can't have any peace in my own home.
So what you're saying is you want to be closer to Dad, but you don't actually want him around.
And isn't that always the struggle that we have with people who we're really close to, our family members, sisters, brothers, mom, dad, maybe even your spouse or your kids? You want to be close to them. You want that feeling of being connected, and you also want your independence. And how do you navigate that? How do you not let yourself do so much for Dad in this case? That was obviously from Frasier. How does he not do so much for his dad that he feels stepped on, that he feels like he doesn't have a life of his own? And how does he keep his own life while being independent? Well, living apart gives them both the privacy. Obviously, if a parent moves in with you, it's a whole different ball game. And it's very hard to navigate those situations without a lot of hurt.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologist Dr. Ellen Kenner and co-author Dr. Edwin Locke.
To become a better romantic partner, understand where emotions come from. Every emotion is caused by a specific type of subconscious evaluation or appraisal. Here are some examples. Happiness is the emotion stemming from the appraisal that you've achieved or are making progress toward your most important goals and values. For example, romantic love. Satisfaction is a narrower, less intense form of happiness, usually stemming from gaining or holding a particular value. Love results from a highly positive evaluation of another person based on their desirable qualities. Hope stems from the appraisal that a desired value will be achieved.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com. And you can buy The Selfish Path to Romance at amazon.com.